Atul, try and respond to what Barshan had said earlier. Remember, he is taking the Bangladesh view, and yet he's critical of his board, where he says that this decision, in his own words, is a vicious decision that they have taken to mix politics with sports. He also goes on to say that the problem in Bangladesh right now is the political turmoil. We are talking about attacks against minorities. Those are stray incidents. My question to you is, should stray incidents be the benchmark basis which we'll take such major decisions? Because stray incidents might even happen in India. Attack here and there on minorities may even happen in the first world, in the US, in the UK. Those stray incidents happen. Should we be basing our cricketing outlook or our political outlook or our diplomatic ties all come down to some stray incidents?
Yeah, you're right. Yesterday I said I gave the example of hate crimes in USA. And what
Yeah.
if we can't take USA in the same tone and tenor? That's why I said the ego of a human is only shown to somebody who's below you. You can't show your ego to somebody above you. And yes, incidents in India, the other countries in the world can also ostracize us. But in this particular case, I think the whole amplification was totally wrong. Targeting Shah Rukh Khan was totally wrong because Shah Rukh had nothing to do with it. He was just a low-hanging fruit where everybody. And then the ruling regime also has got a part to play. And then public sentiments were fanned. I know that Bangladesh, but there are other things happening with Bangladesh and India in politics also, which doesn't make this just isolated incidents in Bangladesh. You have to see the whole scenario. It is not just a stray incident. There are other things happening also between India and Bangladesh. We all know that. So I think in this current sentiment, board has done the right thing. I agree that board has taken their mandate back. At the time of auction, we didn't know how things were going to, escalate to this point, and that's why we have reached this point. But to go after Shah Rukh Khan 3 or 4 days and just make KKR play because four other franchises bid for the same player. I mean, what if another franchise would have got it? I mean, I'm sure this kind of amplification wouldn't have happened. So I think I agree with Kash Chopra also. This is collateral damage. And I think we can't detach sports and politics in India, whatever. But for the time being, and also it's laughable. Yesterday only, after the BCCI's decision, in Bangladesh Cricket Board had sent a request for the series of India to travel to Bangladesh. And before the answer could come, and they know what the answer is going to be, they have come up with this, point of moving the matches to Sri Lanka. So this is kind of shadow boxing happening.
A little bit of shadow boxing is what Atul Wassan says. Barshan, tell me, with your experience of 2 decades covering cricket across the world, at the moment, this is still at a request stage. BCB has written directly to ICC saying we can't, play. We are getting to know from our sources in the BCCI that this is too late. Now you cannot turn, just a month and a half away from the T20 World Cup. Too late now to shift their matches. What do you think will happen? Because on the one side, you also have the example of Pakistan. They are not playing in India. So Bangladesh also will be well within their right. If you can make exception for Pakistan, you have to make an exception for us as well. What do you think now, based on your experience, do you think will happen? Will there be a status quo? Will Bangladesh be forced to play in India despite their request? Or ICC will have to make an exception for Bangladesh going forward?
Sorry, Nikhil, because there was scrambling with the network. I must have missed some part of the question. But as for from my understanding, I can explain the thing whatever I have heard by your question. Yes, Bangladesh cricket doesn't have that legacy like Pakistan, and Pakistan cricket has so many things in their under their belt. They are the ex world champion in ODI format and T20 format, and they have a very interesting cricketing legacy, which separates them from Bangladesh. And Bangladesh is not a ideal opponent like Pakistan for India in politically and geographically. That I can assure you that Bangladesh is a lesser opponent than Pakistan in terms of politics and in terms of cricketing aspect as well, because Bangladesh hasn't proved themselves
Pakistan also become like
in
Bangladesh only
the
now.
international cricket as well. So there can't be any status quo. Yeah, Bangladesh can go. I guess as per my understanding, BCCI will ask them, or BCCI will give the ICC the narrative or explanation that it would be a nightmare for the logistics point of view. So Bangladesh will visit the later part, and then how they will respond, it will be interesting to see, because if they can arrange the match in Sri Lanka for Bangladesh, it will be better to respect the choice of Bangladeshi cricket lovers. But if the practical issue comes forward and it doesn't suit, then BCCI has every right to exercise that.
Okay, we're running out of time, but before I wrap up, one final question to Atul Wassan, because Atul, you mentioned that okay, Bangladesh player, one player doesn't play in the IPL. I don't know how much of a difference will it make, but I've been looking and tracking IPL in the recent past. The IPL brand value is falling, right? As I said, one of the major draws of IPL to begin with used to be, Pakistani players coming and playing. Now that's been for more than a decade now history. From 2009 onwards, no Pakistani players have played, and yet the IPL has gone from strength to strength. Now you may have a scenario, again, Bangladesh doesn't contribute as many players, but you might have a scenario where, again, Bangladesh players not coming in. All of this is bringing some sort of bad press to the IPL. I want to know, a brand IPL is already falling a bit. We have multiple owners wanting to sell. How much does brand IPL suffer with more bad press coming its way now with the latest controversy that we've got?
Well, let me tell you, it doesn't really matter if any players play or not in IPL. IPL is very robust. The only thing that is going to hurt IPL is the detaching of real money gaming sponsors now. So that is going to be the biggest hurdle for IPL. I mean, Pakistani players, yes, a few players, if they would have been there, the level would have increased. But I think there was never a written instruction to any of the franchise not to pick up Pakistani players. It was a tacit understanding, and I think in
Yes.
hindsight, if BCCI could have given that tacit understanding before the auction to the through the franchisees, maybe most of them wouldn't have been picked up anyway. So I mean, in spite of their names being in the list, so I think going forward. IPL will not suffer at all because IPL is a different kind of a beast altogether. It doesn't really matter if any of the Indian big players not being there will totally affect the IPL's interest. But I don't think so that with Bangladesh and IPL will not isolate because of these decisions Indian cricket with world cricket.
On the same note, Barshan, to you, apart from asking right now, the ICC, BCB has said no playing in India. What they've also done is revoke the NOC for Bangladesh players to play in the IPL. Do you think this is going to now continue in times to come, or do you think this is just a temporary step?
Yeah, but it is interesting. They were allowed Mustafiz for the ICC and now revoked the NOC from not playing, not let him play for the IPL because it is not going to happen. If now India and IPL governing council giving him the green signal, he won't be allowed to play because Bangladesh cricket will allow it. It is just tit for tat,
Okay.
like thing. It is very
Okay,
interesting.
Atul, you wanted to say
scenario.
something quickly.
Like Kabir is laughing. I just say want to quote Shakespeare. Hell hath no fury as a woman scorned.
Okay. On that note, we'll wind up. We're completely out of time. But Barshan, Kabir, Atul Wassan, thank you so much for taking our time speaking to India
Thanks,
today. What
Julia.
we can tell you is that we haven't heard the final word on this, right? Remember, this is still a request that Bangladesh Cricket Board has put forward to the ICC. Whether the ICC will accept it or not, if they don't accept, what is going to be Bangladesh's next step? What happens now to cricketing relations between Bangladesh and India? These are things that we'll have to track, as I said, developing story, and it is going to go on for some time to come. But what we can assure you is that all the latest updates tracking this story, you'll keep getting on India Today.